How about Canada? Excuse me. Jinwoo became angry and shouted. I said, what about Canada? At that moment, a gate opened in Canada. Like in the other places, nothing seemed to happen. The hunters who were eager to fight looked at each other with confusion. What is going on? Didn't he say monsters would fall from the sky? Was Jinwoo sung wrong? Suddenly, Jay noticed something and yelled to the other hunters. Be quiet. He was the best hunter in the group and his words held a special power. It made everyone stop talking. When everything was silent, Jay stared at the gate. As he expected, a single figure slowly came down from it. It wasn't just any figure though. It was a real person. When the creature landed softly, Jay told the other hunters to stop and walk toward it by himself. He felt nervous and swallowed hard. As he got closer, Jay could see clearly that the person he was facing was a man about the same age as his parents, with dark red hair and a beard. He wore shining silver and red armor that covered his whole body. The man looked at Jay as he walked closer. Are you the king? Even though the man didn't speak, his voice seemed to echo in Jay's mind. Jay understood him right away. As if he were speaking a language Jay already knew, Jay's heart began to beat very fast. Yes, I knew it. I totally guessed right. This is how Jinwoo was able to lead the soldiers. He likely talked to them in a similar way. That was a trick. I knew something wasn't right. He felt really good about being correct. He was so excited he pumped his fist in the air. The other hunters raised their fists too and shouted with joy. Whoa! Jay turned to the man who had been waiting calmly. He then asked the first person he saw if they were the king, and if they said yes he would accept their rule. He looked closely at the quiet man, wondering if he was a real person or a magical creature. He smiled slightly. What if I said I was? Jay could say he was the leader, because he was in charge of all the hunters who had come together. He spoke with a lot of confidence. It seems he isn't here. The man blinked, and his eyes looked cold and dangerous, like a reptile. I haven't heard from Canada yet. The hunter who was in charge of messages said nervously. Annoyed, Jinwoo took out his cell phone. He knew someone who could help him find the answer he needed quickly. Jinwoo looked through his phone contacts and called Special Agent Adam White, from the Asian branch of the Hunter Command Center. With everything happening right now, Jinwoo was worried the call wouldn't connect. Hunter sung, a worried voice answered. There wasn't time for hellos, so Jinwoo quickly asked, Adam, what is happening with the gate in Canada? Just then, Jinwoo heard people cheering through the phone. It was quiet, and he almost didn't notice it, even though he has very good hearing, but it proved what he thought was true. Where are you right now? I'm at the gate in Canada. I am here with other American agents to help with the attack. Why are you there, Adam? Asked, surprised by Jinwoo's voice. We cannot just stand by and watch what is happening. Many American agents are with me. He also said he was far enough away that they could leave if things became dangerous. Jinwoo was still annoyed. Hadn't he told them this would happen? People didn't understand how serious things were. He still hoped he was wrong because Adam was okay. He took a deep breath and kept talking calmly. Has anything changed with the gate? No, the gate looks empty, just like everywhere else. It is quiet here. Jinwoo felt relieved. He would rather be told he was wrong than have something bad happen. He let out a sigh. Whew, it looked like he had thought wrong. Huh? Wait a minute, Adam sounded worried, and that made Jinwoo feel uneasy. Why did he always feel something bad was about to happen when he did? Adam quickly said, something is coming through the gate now. Wait, it's just one person. Jinwoo felt a shiver run down his spine as he asked quickly. What about his hair? Adam was far enough away from the gate that he couldn't look closely at the man's eyes, but he could see his hair. What color is it? Just a moment. Adam borrowed a special tool from someone nearby. It looks black and red. His hair was a dark red color. Oh no, that's bad. Jinwoo's eyes got big. Adam, get out of there, get in a car or something. Just leave now. What? But before Adam could ask Jinwoo to explain, crash. A loud explosion happened on the other end of the phone. Oh my goodness. Adam started to yell. Adam. Jinwoo's voice brought Adam back to his senses. He cried into the phone. The hunters. All the best hunters fighting are turning to dust. Their bodies are still burning. Oh no, Adam. Adam. It's okay. Just leave now. You need to get out of there right away. Jinwoo tried to help Adam calm down, but the agent was very upset. Oh no, while crying, Adam explained everything to Jinwoo, as if it was his job. Dragons are coming down, a never-ending group of dragons, and magical creatures is appearing. There are all sorts of magical creatures. How is this possible? Hearing the sadness in Adam's voice, Jinwoo could no longer just listen. It was a dangerous move, but he connected to the shadowy figure following Adam. He could now see exactly what Adam saw. It looked like the world was ending. Dark shapes filled the sky as they came down from a huge opening. Scary monsters were everywhere on the land and in the sky. The loud roars of big four-legged beasts made the ground shake, and flying creatures flapped their wings above. Even before these magical beasts landed, the hunters who were ready to fight them disappeared quickly because of a very powerful monster that came first. Everyone else was scared and trying to run away, but it seemed like they didn't have much hope of surviving. But Jinwoo believed he could at least save Adam. The strong orc warrior controlled by Jinwoo quickly took hold of Adam's wrist. Ah! Adam cried when he saw the tall orc in dark armor. But then he noticed a familiar shape in the orc's eyes. But Hunter sung. There wasn't time to say more. Jinwoo could talk to Adam after moving him with teleportation. While controlling the large orc's body, Jinwoo tried to pull Adam into the darkness under his feet. But someone quickly came up behind him and grabbed the orc's shoulder. The orc turned around and saw a man around middle age with strange reptile-like eyes staring at him. Where do you think you're going? Shadow, the man asked. He opened his mouth wide, getting ready to use a lot of powerful energy. Jinwoo looked at Adam. Adam looked at Jinwoo's powerful opponent, and seemed to understand something. He stared right into the eyes of the tall orc that Jinwoo was controlling. Hunter sung. Suddenly a blast of fire shot out of Adam's mouth. The shadowy figure was completely destroyed. Ah! Jinwoo felt like he was burning up and twisted his body because of the strong pain. He managed to get away, because only his feelings were linked to the large creature. But it was much worse for Adam. Jinwoo saw the agent's last moments. Jinwoo clenched his jaw as he remembered the fear in Adam's eyes, when he burst into flames and disappeared. Boom! Jinwoo punched the ground, and the whole place shook. Oh no, Jinwoo should have realized what would happen. Their biggest enemy was the Shadow Monarch, and the longer the fighting lasted, the more powerful he would become. So the enemy tried to keep the fighting in a small area, and attacked one place at a time. The monarchs had tricked him with their first plan to open all 8 gates at the same time. They sent all their soldiers to the gate that was farthest away. Jinwoo had made a difficult error. His plan to grow his army while the other areas were under attack had failed. He knew something terrible had happened, so Zidane carefully walked toward Jinwoo. Hunter sung. Just then, the hunter who handled communications came to them, looking very pale. Hatch, Hunter sung. Hunter Lu Canada has Jinwoo, didn't need to hear any more. When he looked up, the gate in the sky was slowly disappearing, finished with what it needed to do. A soldier made of shadow, and the person next to him were gone, turned to ash because the powerful blast could even destroy someone who couldn't normally be harmed. The Dragon King looked down at the ashes at his feet, pleased with what had happened. He looked at the soldiers from the world of chaos. They had been trapped for a long time, and now they were happily using their powers and enjoying their freedom. The Dragon King closed his eyes, stretched out his arms and felt happy to be free too. The sounds of living things breathing, their cries, and the noises of things being broken, all sounded good to him. Thud! The old dragons landed hard on the ground, and then 2 monarchs arrived. After them came many marshals. They all knelt to show respect for the strongest monarch. The Dragon King smiled, and reached out to grab some magical energy floating in the air. The special energy that entered the world to make it better also helped those who knew how to control it. They were ready. Die! Ha ha ha. The Dragon King laughed so loudly the ground shook. He shouted to the soldiers still coming through the gate. We have one job. Destroy everything. Hundreds of dragons flew past him, breathing fire down below. Whoosh! David Brannon sat by himself in the office with the lights turned off. He didn't listen to the many warnings and calls from his bosses, and instead drank the fancy drinks he had been keeping for his oldest daughter's wedding. The quiet TV screen glowed in the dim room. Sometimes strange creatures appeared on the screen. David understood why the news kept showing the same videos. It was likely everyone involved had died. Just like the special agents sent to Canada to help with the operation, Probably no one made it through. The agents, the people hunting them, and the news reporters covering the story were all gone. Every single one. But because of the person filming, people could see what was happening. It's finished. The director shouted. Jinwoo hadn't been telling a story. There were hundreds of dragons. After them came a huge wave of giants, wild animals, and insects. These magical creatures were terrible disasters that no human could stop. David finally understood why Jinwoo had kept saying everyone needed to leave. The world was ending. That reckless man, Jinwoo, had traveled to China with his helpers to fight those frightening creatures. Hadn't he? Why would he even try to fight them, knowing how dangerous they were? The director wished he could open Jinwoo's head and see what he was thinking. But the director knew his own head would break first before he could do that. Hey! He laughed a little, even though he was worried. He took a picture out of his jacket pocket. There was a picture of him looking frustrated next to his daughter, who was wearing a party hat. Was she 16 years old in this picture? If he had known his daughter would be caught up in a dangerous event, the following year he would have made more time for her and taken more photos with her. He really would have given up his job to have that moment back. David was very sad that this was the only photo he had of them together. He finished another glass of water. When his daughter was buried, he believed he would never open this bottle again. He made a frustrated face and shook the bottle. It was already half empty. Yes, it's over now. About half of Canada had been badly damaged. And that was just a guess. No one knew how fast the magical creatures were moving toward the United States. The director angrily took off his tie. I won't let those people defeat me. He had promised, standing at his daughter's resting place, that he would not allow those magical creatures to kill him. At least, David wanted to decide how his life would end. Once he made up his mind, he walked to a window where he could see the ground far below. A cool breeze touched his sweaty forehead. I hope I will see my daughter again. He closed his eyes tightly and moved forward. Someone touched his shoulder. David's eyes opened wide, and he saw a face he knew. Hunter Sung. The director looked very pale, like he had seen a ghost. Jinwoo spoke. I am searching for something. What was Jinwoo trying to find as the world faced a crisis? And was the person standing before David truly Jinwoo? The director moved his head, trying to think clearly, believing he might be imagining things. But as Jinwoo became more clear, he quickly realized it was Hunter Sung himself. David immediately became serious. What are you looking for? A runestone, Jinwoo explained. Please give me the runestone. Kamish left. The director was very surprised, but he didn't show it for long. He shook his head without thinking. As you know, the Hunter Command Center has been. David stopped talking suddenly. He really needed to stop doing that. What about the Hunter Command Center? It didn't matter right now. The whole country was in danger, so a small stone wasn't important. I feel really dizzy. The director slapped both sides of his face gently to wake him up. He began to think clearly as he felt his face get warm. When his vision focused, he decided that Jinwoo had a better reason for wanting the special stone than the Hunter Command Center or the United States did. After thinking for a moment, the director carefully asked Jinwoo some questions. I can give you the stone, but may I ask why you need it?
Jinwoo answered quickly. I'm going to use it to fight back. Jinwoo had seen the power hidden inside the stone through the system. It had the strength of a dragon, but he hadn't wanted it before because of one clear problem with the power.
Jinwoo hadn't needed it before, but things were different now. Jinwoo and the director went down to the 9th level below the Hunter Command Center. They stopped in front of a strong glass case holding a special stone with markings on it. Without the system to help him, Jinwoo carefully looked at the skill hidden inside the stone, using his own eyes and trying to understand it. It was exactly as he remembered, a truly frightening strength, but this amazing power was worth any problems it caused, especially now. Jinwoo's heart beat quickly. After looking at the stone for a moment, David asked a question. You said these beings called rulers sent magical creatures here, correct? Yes. Why are these stones inside the bodies of the magical creatures? They are like presents from the rulers, meant to help us hunt the magical creatures more easily. The rulers wanted to spread magical energy into this world, by causing fights between humans and magical creatures. It was sad. But people getting hurt wasn't the main reason they did things. They tried to help after someone was harmed by magical creatures. They used special stones to contain the creature's power when it died, hoping it would ease the pain for those who suffered. That's how Kamish's power ended up inside this stone. Jinwoo grabbed the key he needed to fight back. The director gulped, watching Jinwoo closely as he held the stone. Can you really stop those magical creatures with that? I will have to try at least. Even now, the armies led by the Dragon King were still moving forward and destroying everything. Because the rulers were strengthening the world with magic, the armies could only move so quickly. But that was only a temporary fix. Soon, the entire world would be in danger. Jinwoo couldn't just stand by and let everything end. Could he? The enemy was very afraid of the Shadow Monarch's strength. They wanted to stop his power, even if it meant secretly making plans against him. Jinwoo was going to show everyone how even someone weak could become strong. I will try my very best. The seriousness in Jinwoo's eyes made the director feel impressed. Jinwoo never gave up in a fight, no matter how strong the other person was. David had been trying to stay safe and avoid danger. Standing near Jinwoo, the director felt very small and weak. He wondered if he had really considered joining his daughter. He felt silly and embarrassed about even thinking it. David was disappointed in himself. Now he just wanted to watch Jinwoo fight. No matter what happened. I shouldn't ask this, he cried. But please make those monsters stop. Maybe David only wanted to avoid being hurt by the magical creatures. He was the leader of the Hunter Command Center, so people expected him to lead the fight against the enemy. However, he couldn't bear the thought of many Americans being hurt or killed. Even if things looked hopeless, Brand Non wanted to hold on to any chance of success, no matter how small. He kept crying as he found some new bravery. Jinwoo softly touched the director's shoulder. He didn't say anything. To David, this small touch felt stronger than a lot of comforting words. He wiped his eyes. This is so embarrassing. I'm sorry, Hunter-sung. Jinwoo waited until Brannon felt a little better before he spoke. One more thing. There's someone I need to find. Jinwoo followed the director into an apartment building close to the Hunter Command Center. Does she live nearby? The Hunter Command Center thinks it's best to keep people they need to protect close by. It seemed like she lived on a lower floor. Because David chose to take the stairs, David was starting to sweat when he stopped at a door on the 4th floor. We're here, Jinwoo nodded. Knock, knock. Brannon gently knocked on the door twice instead of using the doorbell, just as they had planned. After a short pause, someone inside confirmed it was David and opened the door. Director Brannon. The agent's face scrunched up because of the smell of alcohol. Then he stepped back, surprised to see Jinwoo. He didn't pull out a gun like he did when they first met. The agent did quickly put his hand near where he kept a weapon, since this visitor wasn't expected. He quickly looked worried as he remembered what happened before when he tried to do that to Jinwoo. Hunter-sung. There wasn't time to figure out why the strongest hunter in the world was standing there. The director and his guest walked into the apartment. Another guard came to find David. Where is she? She's inside. Wow. This guard was also surprised to see Jinwoo. Director Brannon, that is, I brought him, because he wanted to see her. Please tell her Hunter-sung is here. Yes, sir. I didn't expect anyone to visit right now. Just then a bedroom door opened, and Norma Selner walked into the room. She helped hunters become stronger by increasing their abilities. She used to be able to predict the future too. Jinwoo took a step forward and gave a polite bow to Mrs. Selner. Please come in. She showed Jinwoo into the bedroom. When the director tried to follow them, Mrs. Selner carefully stopped him. Hunter-sung likely wanted to talk to her alone. When she looked at Jinwoo, he nodded. Agreeing. The director closed the door and cleared his throat. Fixing his clothes. Once the door was fully closed, Mrs. Selner slowly turned to look at the man waiting for her in the corner of the room. She gasped when she saw him from head to toe. Oh my goodness! Jinwoo looked very different from when she had last seen him. You are not the same person I used to know. Selner couldn't believe her eyes. She had seen a dark side to Jinwoo before, but now it felt like he was darkness itself. You could clearly see the power of the dead surrounding him. Jinwoo shook his head. I'm still the same person. The only change is that the darkness and I are now connected. Oh my. There were no words to explain how amazing this looked. Mrs. Selner was amazed by the incredible power inside Jinwoo. She could feel it radiating from him. But she quickly realized how strange this was and closed her mouth. I can't help you, Hunter-sung. No one in the world could help someone with this much power. Jinwoo had a different idea. He walked carefully toward Mrs. Selner, who seemed scared. You said you could see what might happen. Sort of, could you please look at my future? Jinwoo wanted to know how the war might end. He hoped Mrs. Selner could show him before he really started fighting. Finding the answer would make him feel better. Mrs. Selner was unsure at first, but finally nodded. She took Jinwoo's hands and closed her eyes. She needed to be brave to face what was coming. She knew Jinwoo would need a lot more bravery to fight. She couldn't say no to his request because he was a brave warrior. Time passed quickly. When Mrs. Selner opened her eyes, she started to cry. Are you really going to handle all of this alone? Jinwoo didn't reply. How could one person possibly carry such a heavy load?